I want to acknowledge the total hell that the honourable member for Wellington Halton Hills has suffered. I cannot imagine receiving a phone call from a journalist late one night to find out that family members on the other side of the world have been threatened for 2 years, and that my own government knew about it and said nothing to me or did anything to protect my family, and worse still, allowed the perpetrator of these threats to remain in Canada and have immunity from our laws all of that time. It must have been the worst phone call he ever received. But I have to say, that member dealt with this incredible hardship with grace and dignity and honor, and all of us and all Canadians stand with him foursquare. Thank you very much. And what has the Prime Minister learned? Apparently nothing. You know, he finally kicked out the operative from Beijing after 2 years of knowing about this. CSIS informed the Prime Minister's National Security Advisor in July of 2021, 2 years ago. He did absolutely nothing. It wasn't until the media found out that he responded at all, and even then, he said he was too afraid to kick this agent out. This agent not only went after a member of this House, but sadly may have targeted countless other families. The member in question had told me, and I think he wouldn't mind if I shared, that what bothers him most is that while he has the floor of the House of Commons to raise these threats, how many thousands of other patriotic Canadians of Chinese origin have faced exactly the same intimidation and threats? We hear the stories of members of this Parliament, and some who were defeated, who knocked on doors only to have these Canadians in tears asking them to go into the backyard and leave the telephones at the front of the House so that they could quietly relay the stories of the threats and intimidation that they had received. Knocks on the door from Beijing's agents, visits to family members who live in China itself with veiled and sometimes overt threats that were not acted upon by this government. Meanwhile, foreign police stations on our soil. If the FBI opened police stations in Canada, there would be thousands of people out to protest them. It would be seen as a massive attack by our American friends on our own sovereignty. And yet we're expected to accept it when it is a hostile foreign dictatorship. Can you imagine a Prime Minister ceding law enforcement powers to a foreign dictatorship? Now, he could claim he's offended by all this, but he's been briefed and he's known about it for years and has done nothing except to have his public safety minister go out and claim there was nothing to worry about, that the police stations were all closed. We find out now that was false. At least 2 stations are up and running, and they haven't even been visited by Canadian law enforcement authorities. How many other police stations are out there? How many other aggressive foreign operatives are harassing good, solid Canadian people? Madam Speaker, we need an answer to that question.